Beautiful Monday evening, everybody. This is Cheryl Serta, Master Practitioner from Occidental California with a Power Pack Clinic up here in Northern California. This is Monday night's Pelvic Restoration Masterclass for men and women. My hostess, Lorraine Clifford, will not be joining me tonight because she's still working with Dr. Sage Wolf up in Calgary, Canada, where they're doing the Wolf non-surgical course. And so she has her hands full. So I will be taking over everything tonight and talking about what's going on. All right. So there we go. Now I have control of the screen. It doesn't get much better than that. So whenever we do these courses and whenever I come on Monday or whenever we're doing any of ours, we really want you to know that if you've got questions, your questions matter. You can put them into the feed of whichever platform that you're listening to. If you're on Instagram, leave it there. If you're on Facebook, leave it there. There's so many different platforms that we're on. So if you get your questions in, either myself or someone there at DACA Detox will absolutely get back to you and answer any of the pertinent questions that are really on your mind, okay? Because as we know, this pelvic restoration live Q&A that we bring to you on Mondays, and it's every Monday at 8 p.m. Eastern, because we want to unleash the healer within you guys. We want to bring you as much information as we possibly can. And as we know, so much of our issues are happening in the pelvic region. I don't care if you're men or women. But you know, us women, we have more bells and whistles. And so there's so many more things that we tend to have or issues until we understand what it's all about and what the underlying causes are. And this is why we love being able to take you from patient to healer, right? So here's all the different platforms. So whichever one you're on, whether it's X, Instagram, YouTube, Rumble, Telegram, the shoot, you can put your questions in. All right. So tonight, before we forget, spring into summer, cleansing and weight loss. And of course, we all understand that when you are never overweight, you're over toxic and over poisoned. The benefit of getting rid of those toxins and poisons is that you do lose pounds. And so that's part of the excitement, up to 40% off. If you're starting this journey, get yourself a perfect day consultation. Go to the DACADetoxStore.com and start taking that massive personal action to get everything back to where you want it to be. And welcome all the women who are finally, checking in, because if you can't do it every Monday, it doesn't matter. You can always go back. So tonight's subject is vaginismus. This is not an uncommon problem for a lot of women. And men, this is something that you should be tuning into, because guess what? If you have a beloved or a partner who is suffering from vaginismus, it's going to affect you, and it's going to affect the intimacy that you guys are able to have as a couple, right? Because it's so misunderstood. So what is vaginismus, right? It's an involuntary, I want you to understand that, tensing or contracting of the muscles, around the vagina, which means that the opening becomes super, super tight, right? And this can create all kinds of painful issues when it comes to intercourse or often other things, right? And so for a woman, it's like no one tells you that there are exercises you can do. There are techniques that we can teach you. There are ways to get rid of the inflammation to help remedy this situation and for you to take back your personal power and to, be pain-free. Let's be clear. Nobody wants to feel uncomfortable, and everybody wants to create that intimacy with their partners, right? So it is an interesting thing. It is unintentional, right? It is unintentional when the spasms occur. This isn't something that a woman is consciously, creating. It can be an emotional issue. There can be a lot of underlying reasons why it all gets started, right? And believe it or not, there are several different types of vaginismus, okay? They call primary is when pain with penetration has always been painful from the moment you tried until now, okay? Secondary occurs when sex or penetration used to be possible, but is no longer. And there can be causes for that. And we're going to go over what could have caused that when once upon a time it wasn't an issue and now it is. So that part is also super important, right? And then there's also global. Global is when pain occurs every time penetration occurs, but not otherwise. Okay, so that's the other interesting thing. And then there's situational. So you can have pain and contractions are only happening under certain conditions. For example, you may be able to put in a tampon or something else, but you may not be able to take penetration, right? But sex, using a tampon may not be painful, but sex is not. We got that a little backwards. So let's talk about the stats, okay? So believe it or not, and this is, how many women do not go to the doctor when this is an issue? They actually take it very personal. They think it's something that they're doing, something that they should be able to relax and take care of. And so a lot of times women never go and take care of that. They suffer in silence. So right now they're saying 15 to 20% of women can actually be suffering from vaginismus. And so I really want you to understand this isn't something that is just happening to you. Okay. This is something that can be happening to your friend, to yourself, to your, and people need to talk. We've been very, very quiet about things that happen in a women's pelvic area. And as far as I'm concerned, the medical system has turned this into a shadow box for women, so that we think that everything happening in the pelvic area is a great big mystery to us when it absolutely isn't, okay? But we've been taught that, and then to abdicate our power to the medical system that wants to give you medication or do some kind of a surgical procedure because that's what they've been taught. And yes, doctors are amazing if you've been in an accident. You want them there to put you back together. But then you want to take back your personal power for healing, because once you understand how inflammation gets started, you'll also learn how to get rid of the inflammation and how to make yourself a healing machine, because that's how the human body was set up. That's how amazing it is, right? So I know that's the part that's very exciting to me, is that we have an opportunity to always heal ourselves. All right. So I'm looking to see if there's anything else I might have done. So let's talk about the causes. All right. So here's one of the issues, and this is kind of the one that builds on itself like a domino effect. You can have anxiety disorders, and the anxiety can often happen from the fact that you've blamed yourself for not being able to relax, or that it's always painful and it never used to be, or whatever the issues are making up, and then you create more stress. Well, when we're in that anxiety and stressful state, you're not relaxed. You're in a sympathetic state, which is like flight or fright, right? This is when we know that we are in defensive mode. And as long as we're in defensive mode, it's going to be really challenging to relax. But there are times, even when you are the most relaxed, the most excited, you want it, you're really looking forward to it, and it's still painful. So why is that? It could be childbirth injuries, right? Such as vaginal tears. When a woman has a child and the child comes out, and a lot of times those doctors will cut you in anticipation of you tearing, or sometimes you do tear. When that happens, then it's going to form scar tissue. You usually get stitched up, and then scar tissue is going to form, and that scar tissue is going to tighten more and more that vaginal opening. And unless you get some, something that will help dissolve and soften the scar tissue and help you learn to heal that, then it's always going to feel very painful, right? It could be prior surgery. And a lot of women have had surgery, whether it's a partial hysterectomy, a hysterectomy, maybe you had a C-section. There's so many reasons that women might have had some kind of a procedure. Anytime that happens, we now have more scar tissue, and the scar tissue is going to create more inflammation, right? But more than that, you then start to have a fear, right? Then you get tense, even thinking about the next time. And a lot of times, and especially for women, there's a fear of sex or negative feelings about sex, because perhaps due to past sexual abuse or trauma, right? We hear a lot of times from a lot of different people that they suffered a lot of traumas when they were younger or as they got older. And then, it just becomes, it exacerbates, right? Because it is a mental issue, an emotional issue, and a physical issue. All of these things are going on at one time. But I'm here to tell you that there is something that you can do, right? There is something and a way to take back your health anytime you want to take back your health. So I'm just here. I love coming in here on Mondays. I know Lorraine loves coming in here on Mondays. And if you have any questions, please put them into the feed. Let me know that you're listening. Give me a thumbs up or send some hearts and let me know that you're listening and that there are women out there who are, checking in and coming in because they're ready to learn for themselves, right? I love teaching the pelvic restoration class for women. This to me is the most powerful class that every woman can take because then you have all the tools that you need right in the palm of your hand. You have everything you need to take back your own health. And it's not just vaginismus, it's all the things you can imagine that women go through. So, what are some of the treatments? Okay, they'll tell you to use topical therapy, topical lidocaine, right? Or compounded creams, they say may help. So they're saying numb it out as if that will, that somehow that's going to make it less painful, which it might, but it's not going to take care of the underlying issue that's going on, right? There's pelvic floor physical therapy. Now, this actually could be very important because when you are in a tense position, when you are feeling that kind of, holding and anticipating, right? Then you can't relax the pelvic floor. So there are ways to teach you to relax the pelvic floor that will soften those tissues. But if you have scar tissue, you still have to know how to start breaking that scar tissue up. You can relax the pelvic floor, but if the scar tissue is still there, we need to find a way to start getting rid of that, softening it, and breaking it up, right? They also suggest a vaginal dilator therapy. Wow. Okay, those are tube-shaped devices that come in various sizes, and their primary purpose is to stretch the vagina, which means they start with the smallest size and they work up and they work up and they work up. Well, there's also some really good stretches that you can do that target that area as well. Okay, so when you think about that, you're still talking about, when they're talking about trying to get it open, we're also talking about doing micro tears as well if we're not careful. And we don't want to add more injury to that, what is already could be an issue, right? And of course, then there's sex therapy. So, trained sex therapists, will work with individuals and couples to help them find pleasure again. And of course, there's cognitive behavioral therapy, which helps you understand how your thoughts affect your emotions and behaviors. It's an effective treatment for anxiety, depression, post-traumatic stress disorder, right? PTSD, which you can have absolutely if you're tensing up and preparing yourself for another painful episode, right? We're almost creating it in our minds and our thoughts by, tensing up. And so I just want every woman to know that this is not something you have to live with for the rest of your life. And I have had women that came into the pelvic restoration course that Lorraine and I were teaching that had this issue and were able to go home and do the exercises and take back their power and actually help to reduce the issue. And so now they're having they're having successful in intercourse and connections with their partners. Okay. So please don't give up hope. Know that there are other things that you can do. And there's, the biofeedback that we talk about, right? Where you are helping individuals become more aware of their pelvic area, understand what to do. This is why when I say you take the course, we're going to teach you what to do. We're going to teach you how to use the tools, how to relax the pelvic floor, how to take back your power when it comes to reducing the inflammation that's happening in our pelvis, right? So we were not taught. So the first thing you have to do is let yourself off the hook There is nothing you can do about something you didn't know about, right? Because we have been ruled, fooled, and schooled about how to take care of this amazing, beautiful body. You can call it a meat suit. I like to call it my communication device that I'm going through life with. But this is, we have an average lifespan of 120 years old. Your body can live that long without having any pain, without hobbling along, without losing your eyesight or your hearing or, your mobility. But because of what we've been taught, we have been just amassing tons of inflammation and calcification. And this is literally what seizes us up. This is what keeps us from having the flow. So learn how to reverse the irreversible and learn how to be the brave heart in your life. And women, I just encourage you, if you have any questions, any issues that are going on right now, please give me a call, 707-322-1979, and let's get started on your healing journey, right? If you're anywhere near Northern California, or better yet, download the BHN app, click on the physician's map where you get the master practitioner map, and find someone who's close to you, someone who can do a pelvic consultation with you and really help you start on this amazing healing journey. And so I love that we have this platform that we can bring all of this to you. And so this is what we always talk about, you guys. It's the highway of life. And it really is the highway of life. And when I really start to teach people what it means to take back your health, how you can start reducing the inflammation in your body, then we get to learn how very, very important it is to understand that you are an energy being. You can be measured in frequency. That's right. They can come in, they know the frequency of a healthy organ. Every organ in your body has a frequency if it's healthy, including your brain. Okay? So if you are a frequency being and you're not feeding yourself high frequency foods, then what are you doing to the frequency that's in your body and to the organs? Well, you're taxing them, right? You're lowering your frequency. You're not feeding them live food. You're not giving yourself more energy. You're literally taxing your body and what's going on. And so I encourage you to really understand what it means to be conscious when we eat. From here, the front door, all the way out to the back door. And so, do you know what high frequency foods are? Do you know what you should be eating? Do you know how to food combine well? Because the American diet, in fact, I can't think of a single culture where we have been food combining correctly, because this is a global misuse. I mean, I call it like I don't want to be, I don't want to say conspiracy, but I do know that every culture has been food combining incorrectly, right? Because anytime you mix a starch with the protein, your body isn't able to do what it needs to do to take up the nutrition it needs to take up. And have we seen how most cultures eat? We put rice with meat and vegetables. We eat spaghetti, right? Meat and pasta. We do potatoes with a steak. So everywhere I look, people are mixing protein with their starches. So if that's all you did was change that right now in your life, eat your proteins with a salad or vegetables, and then eat your vegetables with your starches, you would start to see something magical happen right away. But more than that, did you realize like 90% of your digestion happens here, right here in your mouth? When you get to your stomach, when it passes through in like 30 minutes, it's starting metabolism, not digestion. We are not cows. We do not swallow food whole and hope that we digest. It doesn't work that way. So that means that we have to chew our food until it's really full of the saliva in your mouth, all those digestive juices to start the breaking of the down of the process to take up the nutrients, right? So that's why here at DACA Detox, we say, drink your solids and chew your liquids. Well, what does that look like? Well, if I take a drink of water, I just take a minute, right? I actually chew my water. And what's going to happen is not only am I going to feel more hydrated, but my mouth is going to feel hydrated too. If I take this and go, 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 right? This is why people are actually feeling so thirsty and don't feel hydrated, because you're not allowing your body to take it in as a nutrient, right? To drink that water, just take a minute and swallow. So that means putting our fork down when we eat, right? It also means not distracting ourselves with TV, and definitely no arguing at the table. If we get into a place where we're arguing with each other at the table, you're now out of a parasympathetic state and you're into a sympathetic state, which is your flight or fright. This is when you are defending yourself. Okay, so now your body isn't able to take up nutrition at all. So when that happens, I always tell everybody, whoop, do over. And so you get up, find your happy thought, come back, get to a place, do your lion heart breathing, relax, and then in that space, start to feed yourself. Be conscious about how you're putting frequency into your body, because fruits and vegetables have the highest frequency. Fruits the most. We know this. They're so juicy. You get that fresh watermelon from the farmer's market, and it's literally like you're drinking your food. It is so delicious, right? And it's got all that high frequency. Right now, we've got peaches and we've got apricots and we've got cherries. I love this time of year. We've got organic strawberries coming in, and it's just like I'm there, and I almost could become a fruitarian because I love so much of the fruit. It's delicious, right? And then you have your vegetables. They also have a lot of water content, but they also have the fiber, that fiber that we need, because as it's going through, it's going to trigger that peristalsis, where we're going to get the intestines to keep moving at a regular time. Because if you're constipated, if you're not actually going to the bathroom on a regular basis, that means that you're dehydrated. You know, I was just talking to some young kids who are here at my clinic, trying to explain to them why they needed to hydrate more. And I said, have you ever gone to the bathroom and when you flushed the toilet, did you see how much water it took to flush it down? Well, your colon also needs the water to flush it down. It also needs the hydration. So if you're not giving it to them, it's going to start taking it from other places. And this is where we get the backup, right? So this is when we have to come in, and we're getting the inflammation. So we eat our high frequency foods. We do it with a happy thought. We're chewing them and digesting in our mouth so that we have the most, most chances of getting the most nutrition that we can possibly take in. Okay. But what happens if we're not? What happens if you've now got ailments and you've got back pain, you've got pelvic issues, you've got hip issues, because it all comes from that inflammation. So I wonder if there it is. This is what on the you guys is like, they still think it's your left-hand side. You'll see a healthy colon, right? There's not too many people that have a healthy colon that looks like that. Most people have more of what's happening on the right-hand side. So when we do not food combine properly, when we're constantly putting zero frequency food in our bodies, you know, processed foods or dead food, right? Then that means that you're not giving your body anything it needs to keep functioning, right? So now it's got to do something with that compost that you just gave it. So your body's going to start making its own yeast, fungus, mold, and parasites to help get rid of the issue. And it's the fungus that is the just deadly, because even though your body thinks it's helping you, that fungus is drilling holes through the intestinal wall. And it's so thin. So now you've got actual fecal matter right from that compost pile dripping into your pelvic area. Okay, now you understand why you have inflammation, why you now have cysts or tumors, or, you know, you've got swelling. For men, they can't pee, they've got prostate issues. For women, same thing. So once we have that inflammation, how well are the muscles going to respond? You're uncomfortable, you don't feel good, and then it starts to exacerbate, right? And so we have to take massive personal action to start reversing what everybody said was irreversible, because it isn't irreversible. I'm here to tell you, and so is Lorraine and all the other people that have been really joining in on the DACA Detox at the Brave Heart community and learning how to take your power back and get back into the driver's seat of your life, right? Instead of going, what's wrong with me? And so we tell everybody these are their basics. First of all, you should have a structured water unit. If you're not somewhere where you can get structured water, which is like water coming from a mountain stream, okay, that has been cleaned by the rocks. That's why when you go up camping or whatever, and even though we put it through a filter and we taste that water, it's so good for you. And there are some places where you can get actual spring water. And I see it, even near me, there's a place where people can go and fill up their jugs. Okay. But if you're not, if you're living in a city, or even if you're, for whatever reason, you want a structured water unit because you're not always at home, right? So the structured water unit is going to, you'll see it inside. It's got the little balls and it's literally cleaning it just like a mountain stream. Okay. Now it's 700 times more hydrating when you drink it. Okay. That means that the water is more available. So when you're using our products, you want to put it in the structured water so that you're getting that much more efficacy and you're feeling hydrated and you start to feel so much better right away. So the daily cleansing tea, it is a very gentle tea that is going to heal and help the organs of your body, right? 2 tea bags makes an entire gallon. You're drinking 4 ounces in the morning and 4 ounces at night. And you're going to start the process of your body waking up and the organs starting to work and peristalsis coming back online so that you can start eliminating the things that we need to eliminate out of our body and get rid of the backup, get rid of the hard fecal matter, get the flow going, get the inflammation done, right? Get that stuff out, which is why we have black gold. Black gold is a humic acid powder. Okay, this is going to work in our digestive tract. So that means that you're going to put it in your shakes. You can sprinkle it over a salad, put it in your soup. Some people actually just drink it with some water. I find that a little bit more challenging for me. So it goes into my shakes. I love the black gold in my shakes. It also goes into making my coffee, right? And so we also use it when we get to the ultimate coffee enema, because what it does when it goes through the gut, not only is it going to absorb 400 times its weight, that means that it's going to attach to the fungus, the mold, the parasites, the heavy metals, and help to flush those out of your body. And in the meantime, it's going to leave you a present. It's going to leave you 70 beautiful micronutrients that are going to help grow the gut biome so that you can metabolize and process better when the food gets to your stomach, right? So much better than a probiotic. This is actually going to heal the gut. It's actually going to make you able to take up more nutrition. All right. And for you women and men, it's going to balance your hormones, right? You don't need to be on hormone balancing and all these things they give us. We can naturally bring that harmony back to ourselves. What people don't realize is that when you hear about people detoxing off of drugs, the truth is we have more receptors in our gut than we do in our brain. This is why there's so much, eliminating when people are going through withdrawal. It's actually in our stomachs. And so when you think about having to go in there and clean up all those receptors, clean up all the gut and the mucus out of there in order for us to be able to have those beautiful, gastrointestinal biome that you need in order to digest properly. Okay, and then there's the black diamond. So the black diamond is a humic fulvic nano, the smallest you can find, the cleanest you can find, and the only chemical-free processed one you can find. That's going to work like the black gold, but now it's going to work in your blood because it can pass through the blood-brain barrier. This means that it's getting into your blood and doing the same thing that black gold did in your gut, it's now going to do in your blood. So imagine having this army in your body working for you. I always see them like little Pac-Men just going through and cleaning up everything that needs to be done. And I do it every day. That means that no matter what I'm exposed to or what's happening around me, I am continually flushing so that I stay 100% inflammation free. That means that I don't have aches and pains. It means that I feel good and I have lots of energy. Because if your body is using up all of its energy in order to try to eliminate, what's left for the rest of it? And when you're younger, you might get away with it, but once we get older, it gets a little bit more challenging. So here is the ultimate coffee enema. And this is so very important because if we're taking our black gold and black diamond and we're helping our body flush, well, let's help it flush it right out, which means that if you've got things backed up in there, we want to get it loose, right? We want to start breaking through and letting that old stuff out. So when you're doing the Ultimate Coffee Enema and the directions are in the Perfect Day Guide, this is going to help you because it's all the products that we're using are done for a reason. You're using this amazing organic green coffee, right? Which got everything in it that you need. Then you're going to add the black gold to it. You're going to cook those together. You're going to strain it. You're going to add black diamond to it. I mean, you're doing all these amazing things so that we are, we're doing it from the front door and we're cleaning from the back door, right? So that it's getting done faster and more effectively. And so I encourage everybody, they have the bundles and there's a sale going on. Now's the time to go. Go to the DACAdetoxstore.com and get the things that you need to start your healing journey. Especially as women, if you have any issues like this, we have to get rid of the inflammation so we can start the healing process. And then we have the ultimate infusion, the rectal and vaginal. That's right, because these are also going to help. Men, if you've got, any kind of prostate issues, or you're getting up to use the bathroom all night long because there's inflammation and swelling, you got hip issues, I'm telling you, you need to be doing these rectal ultimate infusions only after doing the ultimate coffee first. Women, any issues in our vaginal pelvic region, especially if you have vaginismus, you want to start healing the tissues. And everything that's in this protocol is necessary. Every single one of them does something different. Healing, cleaning, cleansing, igniting. I mean, it's really a phenomenal, phenomenal protocol. So again, all the information on how to do it is in the pdgfree.com. But if you're feeling like you really need a help or a coach, then for heaven's sakes, get that perfect day consultation and have somebody who's your coach for life. Have somebody to walk you through it, to give you the information and to explain it to you in a way that, you really get it and you understand why it's so important. Because once we let go of the inflammation, then we're free, right? We have so many more choices. And to me, that's so very important. And then, of course, create the perfect day for the rest of your life. And that's like just talking about with the perfect day consultation. And you can go to the perfectdayconsultation.com, right? And you can actually find for yourself, either you can get it done with Dr. Daryl Wolf or you can get it done from a master practitioner, but make it happen for yourself today. And then of course, the perfect day guide, that everybody needs to own it and live it, right? This is not a diet. Nobody wants to die. We want to live. We want to feel healthy. We want to be hydrated and we want to be just full of joy and unconditional love. Because watch what happens when you start to unconditionally love yourself and put yourself first, right? Stop having a relationship with your suffering and start having a relationship with your heart. Yeah. And so it will really change how you show up in life and how life is going to be, because then we change our stinking thinking, because our words are so powerful. If I always saying that I am sick, I will always be sick. If I am languaging that I am already healed, I am amazing, I'm taking massive personal action, my brain is unbelievable, I remember everything, I got this, that's going to be my outcome. And that's how powerful we are as human beings. And that's what they tried to take away from us, is that we have the power. So that if we start talking so negative, then we're never going to get to that place where we understand that we are already healed, right? And you're making that happen. And so here it is, the bhnapp.com. I can't imagine that everybody doesn't have this right now, because this is so important, right? This is a free app. It's a huge app, okay? And when you download this app and you put your email in and you put a password, then go back to your email to, verify that it's you, and then you have access to the app, right? Well, what does it do? Let me tell you, it can track your perfect day. So let's say you're finally getting started on this. It will actually have all the things for water, your shake, your salads, your whatever it is that you're doing is going to track your perfect day. All the news and events that are going on here at Braveheart Nation, right there for you to see so you don't miss any of them. And there is that new world practitioner map. This is where you're going to find somebody close to you so that you can then start taking massive personal action. Get some cell sonic regeneration. Get that wolf non-surgical. Get on a cardio med bed. Get your circulation back. and start to feel better. Be more addicted to joy, be more addicted to health than you are to your suffering. And that's simple. And then Evolve is the world's largest free online library of videos, guides, and audios for self-healing. Then you can connect with other brave hearts around the world. Find people who are doing this work just like you. These are people who are going to encourage you, and they're going to be like your cheerleaders. This is what you want. And then you have the mindful moment reminder. So for me, it's drink water. Because when I'm doing these shows, this little ding happens, and I'll just pick up my, make sure that I hydrate myself. Okay. And then, of course, you want to find a beloved. Are you thinking, have you tried different platforms? Well, if you do the ultimate emotional masterclass, emotional intelligence masterclass, which is being offered for free in the Evolve, which is normally $995, that's right. Do it. It takes 30 to 35 days. And once you're completed it, then you can be on the perfect match. And you'll know that everybody else who's on the perfect match has also done the work. So here's our library. You guys, everything that you can imagine that you want to know about. You want to know the cancer answer? You want to know about the ionic calcium, which is so important. It's the only calcium that's readily, immediately available to your body. That's right. So that you actually get calcium into all your cells. Or how about learning what the perfect day is, or healthy to 100? It's got to say 120 real soon, right? There's so many things in here for you to understand. So once you start learning, right, don't take someone else's word for it. Learn. Take on that initiative so that you can become your own master practitioner. So I tell everybody, it's exciting. This is what you want to do with your life. And of course, then you're going to get excited, because then you're going to want to take the whole life coach. That's right. It's a certification where Dr. Darrell Wolf actually teaches the course. This is where he says he's going to crack your coconut. And this is where you're going to learn about everything I talk about in so much more detail. We're talking about, the highway of life. We're talking about the emotional healing. We're talking about the spiritual connection. We're talking about the mental issues and your stinking thinking, because it's a well-rounded course and it will change your life forever. Even after one course, you will not be the same person. You are now going to have the information that you were never taught. And I know, even after doing a year of med school, even after all the classes I took, nobody taught me more than I learned in my first whole life health coach class. And so that encouraged me to go on and take it again and again to become a master practitioner, and now going on again to become a master assistant trainer, because this is where we need to go in the future. If you're not doing this work, you're going to be at the effect of what's going on. Don't be swept along with the herd. Come and join a community that's actually healing and making a change. So go to bhnuniversity.com. You can sign up for the courses. And of course, the Wolf Non-Surgical Certification with Dr. Sage Wolf. And this is where you learn to break up calcification and scar tissue on every part of your body, because we know that's what inflammation creates. And more toxins are stuck in that calcification and in that scar tissue than even in our fat cells. So we want to break that up, and we want to release the emotional traumas that are trapped in your body to allow it to open up, to allow the flow. And so that's why this is so important. So for me, being able to do this for my clients, and sometimes even in one session, to see them walk out after being in pain for 2 years and go, I can hardly believe that's all I needed, because they don't want you to know. They want you to stay in pain and discomfort. You're a $1 billion industry to the medical system. So, laugh at them. Come take the course. And this is my wonderful course, Women's Pelvic Restoration and Disease Prevention Masterclass. It is just for women. One of these days, we should have one for men. We got to get more interest, but men tend to not be as interested as women. Women want to heal themselves. Our pelvic palace is where we have our personal power. This is where we heal. And we have been at the effect of the medical system for too long. No need for a hot flash, no need for cramps, no need for painful pregnancies, no need for painful births, no need to have urinary incontinence. There's no need for all of that. We can learn to take our health back, and we are here to teach you. This is the most important course that any woman can take on the planet. From the time you start menstruation till the time you're done, Okay, this is a course that every woman needs to take and understand, and then pass it on to your daughters. Pass it on to your mothers, mothers to daughters, to sisters, to friends, so that we can start healing the population. Again, go to bhnuniversity.com. Right now, I don't know if there's even room left, but the Women's Pelvic is happening in Calgary, Canada, 27th to 29th. So if you're even interested, you just jump on right away. So here are the courses that are being offered, okay? So like I said, Women's Pelvic right now in Calgary, 27th, 29th. Then we're going to go to Ixtapa, Zewantinejo, which is amazing. And that will be from October 29th to November 23rd. I will be there. And then again, starting the new year, we'll start again in Ixtapa. And that will be from January 28th until February 22nd. And then to Los Angeles, California, everybody. And that's going to be from February 25th to March 22nd. Please know that the Women's Pelvic Restoration is still back online. The one in Calgary, Mexico will also be online, right? So we're going to be filming this to make it available as a course to take. So I'm very excited about that as well. And again, here's our courses. Our prices are unbelievable for what you get. Okay, because even after you take these courses, we don't just drop you. You are part of a continuing weekly learning where Dr. Wolf makes himself available to people who've taken these courses. You are now a certified practitioner. You can now come and ask questions, and you can continue the learning process. And you now have a community of people who can help you build your practice or just learn to go deeper. So this is so important. And look at this. Come and do them together. Save yourself some money and please do the pelvic restoration for women only. And guess what? There is financing in the United States. So for any of these courses. And I really want to put a shout out to Gold Care. This is a BHN TV special world event, okay? Sunday, July 13th from 11 a.m. to 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. These are Dr. Dana H. Granberg-Nill, Dr. Simone Gold, Dr. Daryl Wolf, and 18 world leading healers, you guys, that are giving their time for free. That's right. These are all these people who are so passionate about bringing this information to you to change your life, to bring back your health, to, stick it to the medical system. We do not need to take more pills or go under the knife or get burned anymore. We're going to take our health back, okay? And then there's a live Q&A Monday from 12 to 2 and Tuesday from 7 to 10, but you have to go to bhnuniversity.com and register so that you get the link to be on the live so that you can ask questions in real time on Daryl's platform. So that's pretty exciting. So here's all the things. So when you go and you do the BHN app and you go to the events, all of these will be there for you. Gold Care on the 13th, Rock with the Doc on the 19th, Heal Yourself, Heal Your Family on August 6th, Rock with the Doc again September 6th, Quantum Power Pack Healing on October 5th, 26th, Food Forest Abundance, with Jim Gale, it's amazing. And November 16th, Super Soldier Immunity, why not? So that you can be ready and armed and healthy for what's coming, okay? And here we have Dr. Sage Wolf. He is taking appointments. I don't know if he has any left up in Calgary, but he is going around to Power Pack clinics and he is offering total body thermography, which is going to tell you where all the inflammation is in your body. He's doing heavy metal testing, which is also very important. He's doing his amazing Wolf non-surgical, and these Power Pack clinics all have the cell sonic regeneration and or a cardio med bed. So you get the full treatment. You might just come. I know that people coming to Occidental are getting the whole package deal. So he'll be in St. Louis, Missouri after Calgary from July 6th to July 15th. They'll give Tim a call, 479-215-9592. And then he's coming to Occidental, California, and he did add an extra day. So he's now here to the 30th. I'm here to tell you I have 2 afternoons left. Okay, if you're interested in getting some real work done, we can get that Wolf non-surgical cell sonic. We can, if you want to do the thermography, it's a little more challenging to do it in the afternoon because there is a protocol that you have to do. Okay, so if you're still interested, give me a call, 707-322-1979. I am so excited to have Dr. Sage Wolf here, and I know he's excited to come. And then he's going off to Montreal, Quebec, and that will be Saturday, August 23rd to Monday, September 1st. You want to give Christine a call, She speaks fluent French. She's going to help you, right? 438-929-0997, again from the 23rd to September 1st. And please, again, this is where we're on so many different platforms and so many different podcasts. You can listen now to us when you're in your car or you're doing your chores or you're at work, and instead of just whatever, start reading, start listening to the wonderful people that are on these podcasts: Spreaker, Spotify, Deezer, iHeartRadio, Amazon. So all these platforms are there. And even though Facebook keeps banning us from certain things, I'm here to tell you it doesn't matter. We're still growing at 20,000 new brave hearts every day. And we don't believe we'll be allowed to continue with this growth because our message is to free the world. We're here to free the world. But you know what? They can't take us off of our own platform. That's right. So you'll still be able to stay connected and unite. And this is very important. We want everybody to have that. And of course, we have fulfillment centers. So when you go to that DACA Detox store or go to shopdodnow.com, it's in the United States, Canada, and Australia. You're going to get your products that much faster. And that's always important because you get excited once you decide to make that massive personal action. So become an affiliate partner, right? If you have a clinic, if you know people, then you want to earn a commission on your referrals. Go to DACADetoxPartners.com and get started in the process. And of course, if you do have a practice, if you have any kind of a health clinic, you do not want to be giving your patients or your clients supplements. Supplements do not have the efficacy they need. They have crap in them. You want nutraceuticals, those nutraceuticals that have high frequency, completely pure, have no fillers, so that when you're taking them, you're getting 80 to 100% of the efficacy of what they were meant to do. And that's really important. So become a wholesale buyer. Go to DACA Detox Wholesale, or what is it? You'll go to office.dacadetox@gmail.com, or always call the toll-free number, 855-900-4544, and that's extension 5. And of course, what you really want is to become a Power Pack clinic, because these are the clinics that are going to save lives here, in the future. This is what everybody needs to take back their health, okay? So you get a 23-day professional training with every cell sonic regeneration and cardio med bed purchase. That's amazing. You will not find that anywhere. You want to go find this product on the internet, you can do that, but you'll get no service, no warranties, no nothing. You're going to want, we're growing practitioners here at the Braveheart Nation. That's right. This isn't about, equipment. This is about training you. It's not just setting you here. Take these. We're going to teach you how to use them. We're going to turn you into amazing practitioners, and we're going to get you on the platforms and support you. It's going to be an amazing journey. And as I said before, financing is now available in the USA, both for the Power Pack clinics and all the courses that you want to take. So don't let money become an issue. You're worth it. Your life is worth it. Your joy is worth it. And of course, if you do have some real healing issues, I always tell people, take yourself out of your environment. Go to the DoD 5-star Health and Healing, right? DoD5star.com. It is so gorgeous and beautiful. It's got all the healing energies that you need, everything that you need to get better. They streamline it for whatever your needs are. All the things are there for you to do. So I encourage everybody, please go get healed. Take massive personal action. And it's so beautiful there, you guys. You've got all this organic food, all this organic juices, and you're able to relax and stop, okay? That's an important part of our healing. And if you can't make it to our trainings, and you really do want to have this, then Dr. Sagewolf does the personal certifications and trainings, right? So you can give him a call directly on his WhatsApp, 469-861-9454, or call the 855-900-4544 extension 5, and let Dr. Sagewolf know that you are interested, that your family wants to be trained, or maybe you have a group of people that can't make it, but you want to be trained, then have him come to you and make it happen, right? And of course, get that perfect day consultation, please. It really helps to have someone in your corner that knows exactly where you're starting on your healing journey. So Dr. Darrell Wolf is doing them for $250 and still get that lifetime support, or you can get a New World Master Practitioner for $150. So go to perfectdayconsultation.com and wear our t-shirts and our clothes and our sweatshirts and our hoodies and even our hats, right? Be a walking message. Let people ask, ooh, what does that mean? What's that about? Support us in the same way that we support you. And please, this is your healing Bible. This is your body's Bible, right? This is the ultimate healing guide. This has everything in it that you need, every question you have. What about this? Why am I taking this nutraceutical? Read about it. Every single one of them in detail is telling you why your body needs it, why it's so important. So I encourage everybody to please go get healed. Start your healing process. Start reading. Did you know education is how we start to really learn? And take all your power back. Why not be healthy to 100? I know that I don't need glasses. These are just for the computer. I don't need hearing aids. I don't have any problem walking up a hill. I don't have any of those issues because I did take massive personal action. And I love feeling this good all the time and having lots of energy. And I love passing it on, right? Because here at the DACA Detox, as we always know, is the only permanent healthcare is self-care. And the only permanent love is self-love. That's right. Because nobody can do this for you. And we want you to learn to fly. So in order to rise to your full potential, you have to first love yourself. And for most of us, we haven't been taught how to be unconditionally loving. We haven't even learned how to love ourselves. And that's why when you come to one of the courses, when you get a perfect day consultation, we'll start the process and help you teach you how to learn to unconditionally love yourself. We're going to teach you to love yourself more than you love your suffering. And believe me, we are a victim nation. And this is what they teach us, even at a young age. And everybody will one-up you on your suffering as if there's some kind of goal here. So we want you to not be addicted to your suffering, to not have a relationship with it. We want you to have a relationship with yourself, with your love, with your high frequency, with your joy, right? And here at Braveheart Nation, we are stronger when we rise together. So go to bhnuniversity.com, download the app, bhnapp.com, start getting connected and getting involved, okay? And of course, we end every course or everything that we do with the Braveheart Nation Oath. We also call this our mirror work. This is something that you learn to do, to sit in front of a mirror, get really close and drop in and really understand that this is how we learn to love ourselves. So we'll just take a deep breath. There's a lot of talking. And I like to say, I am love. I am healed. I am Braveheart. Today and every day, from the moment I rise until I gently close my eyes, I will always trust, honor, respect, protect, forgive, and totally love myself, first and foremost, before anyone else or anything else. So help me God, because I am, I can, I am love, I am healed, I am Braveheart. Thank you so much for joining me, you guys. I will see you next Monday.